Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel and another episode of Scrabble Picks My TBR game that I have been playing here on my channel for a few months now. Basically, every single month I spell 5 words in Scrabble, and those words act as prompts to help me pick what I'm going to read this month. Same rules as Scrabble apply, so no proper names, and every word I spell has to be found in the dictionary of my choice. Once I get to 150 points, I get to have a free pick in the TBR, and great news for me is that last month I hit 150 points, so this month the points will reset, we're starting again at 0, and I will only spell 4 words. The 5th will be a book of my choice. I think that's pretty much it for the rules. If this is your first time watching and you'd like to see my other episodes of Scrabble TBR, I will link the playlist up here somewhere. I don't remember which side of the card is, but somewhere in this general area will be the playlist. And let's talk about how I did on last month's TBR. So I did read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller plus Tristram Shandy by Lawrence Stern. I did not get to The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. I used this book for that prompt instead. I thought that might happen. I also read my 2 library books, which I have since returned, Goodnight Beautiful by Amy Malloy and Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Roble. So I completed all of the books on my TBR except I am still reading The Camelot Betrayal by Kirsten White. To be completely honest, I've barely started it. I had a bit of a reading slump, I guess you could say, next month where I just wasn't in the mood to read for a little while during the month. So I will be finishing this on top of the books that I pick in this month's TBR. I don't have real punishments in this game because this is just supposed to be fun. My only real punishment is that if I don't finish a book from last month's TBR, either I have to DNF it or I'm going to carry it over to the new TBR. With that being said, I think now we can get into this month's picks. So at the end of last month, I had 4 letters left on my rack. Those were E, W, R, and O. So I need to draw 3 more letters to start with. I have the 1 free play tile. So at any point throughout this game, I can use this to switch out my letters if I don't like them with no consequence. And I did hit 150 points last month, so today I will only be spelling 4 words, and then for my 5th book I will get a free choice where I can pick whatever I want. And honestly, I still don't know what that free choice is going to be, so I think I'm gonna pick the other 4 books first and then just decide at the end what I want to add to the TBR. Alright, that's enough talking. Let me draw 3 new letters. First, H, E, P. Yep, sorry, just making sure I can count 7. That's right. So first I'm going to spell, where exactly do I want to put it? I guess I'll start here. Hope. I recently did a new 5-star predictions video. So for this, I am going to pick a book that I have high hopes for. Spoiler alert, it'll probably be something from that video. For my first prompt of May, I spelled the word hope, so I will be reading a book I have high hopes for from my latest 5-star predictions video. I've been in a bit of a historical fiction mood recently, as you probably know if you watched my last What I Watched Recently and saw how many historical dramas I watched. But point is, the book I decided to go with is The Lost Orphan by Stacey Halls. I just talked about this in my 5-star predictions video, so I will keep it brief since you can obviously go watch that video if you want to hear more about why I'm excited for this book. But this is a historical mystery set in Georgian-era London, and our main character is a woman who had a daughter out of wedlock, which in this time was a big no-no in society, so she placed her daughter in a foundling hospital, and now, years later, that she is going back to reclaim her daughter, she finds out that somebody has come to the hospital to take her daughter already. So she has to figure out who took her daughter and where is her daughter now. I find the concept of historical mysteries so interesting because it's combining two of my favorite genres into one book. I love historical fiction and I love mysteries. So this will be the first book on my TBR this month. Now I have to draw another 4 letters from this bad boy. M. B. Oop, I almost dropped it. N. And the last one, U. So for this one, my necklace is swinging. If it keeps doing this, I might have to shake it off. I'm going to spell, wait, if I can remember how to spell, number, and read a book with a number in the title. Next, for a book with a number in the title, there was a very specific book that I was hoping I could put on my TBR. However, I was worried because after I filmed the pics, I always actually film the pics before I film me here sitting down to talk about what I'm going to read. I placed the book on hold from the library on my Libby app, and it said that it was going to be 4 weeks, which made me nervous because that meant I'm not going to have the book until the end of May, which is a little dicey. What if I can't finish it in time? But everything worked out because right before I sat down to film this portion of the video, it came through. The people in front of me in line didn't take as long with the book as originally planned, so I got the book early. Super excited about that, and now I should probably tell you what that book is. So, the next book on my TBR this month is going to be 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I've heard mixed reviews for this book, however, I absolutely adored The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, and the concept of this book sounds so fascinating to me. 8 Perfect Murders follows a bookseller named Malcolm Kershaw, and years ago Malcolm wrote a blog post entitled 8 Perfect Murders where he discusses 8 murders from fiction that he believes were almost perfect murders. Now, years later, he is approached by the police or the FBI, I don't remember, because someone is recreating all of the murders from his list. I have wanted to read this since it came out, however, I had to delay it for a while because this book does spoil the 8 perfect murders on the main character's list, and one of those is from the ABC Murders by Agatha Christie, which I obviously wanted to read before I read this book, and now I have, so I am good to go. If you want to read this book, definitely look up what other books it spoils. I believe the reviews on Goodreads mention what books are spoiled in this book, if that's something that you would like to know going in. But yeah, really excited to give this a try. So now, how many letters do I need to draw now? God, you know, for a smart person, I can also be like really stupid. The pressure of having to add and count and spell while being filmed, my God. A. L. last one? Yeah, last one. C. So for this round, I'm going to spell not math, not math, but a word that's pretty close. Match. And for this one, okay, I'm excited about this. I'm gonna pick a book that matches my outfit that I'm wearing right now. Here, let me show it to you. I'm wearing yellow and white striped shorts, just a white top, necklace. So something with a yellow and white cover, that sort of color palette. I'm gonna pick a book that matches that. So the next word I spelled was match, and for this I had to pick out a book that matched my outfit. And as I was wearing yellow and white shorts, that was a little difficult because I don't really have many yellow books on my TBR and very few on my physical shelf. The best book that I could come up with was Notorious Royal Marriages, A Juicy Journey Through 9 Centuries of Dynasty, Destiny, and Desire by Leslie Carroll. The woman on the cover is wearing a yellow dress that is the same color as my shorts, and also the back is yellow and gold, also a little bit of white in there. So this was the best that I could come up with in terms of matching my outfit, but I'm overall pretty happy with this as a TBR pick for this month, so all's good. This is a nonfiction book that talks about various royal couples throughout history. Looking at the couples that are covered in this book on the table of contents, it is much more Anglo-centric than I was hoping when I purchased this. I didn't count, but it seems like a majority of the couples in this book were English royals with also some French, Russian, and other European countries thrown in, but the vast majority of them are English couples, and I don't think there's a single couple in here that was not European, which is a little bit disappointing because I was hoping it would cover maybe some royal couples that I didn't know as much about, but I'm still excited to give this a try because royal history is very interesting to me, so hopefully I will learn some new juicy tidbits about historical couples in this book. Sorry the camera angle is different now, but only... Actually, yeah, this is the last word, isn't it? Because I have a free pick. Oh. Okie dokie, so I need to pick 4 more letters. O. Q. Y. And U. Okay. Since this is going to be my last word this month, I might as well, I think, just use this, and then I can get rid of the Q and the Y. I'm just gonna chuck them to the side rather than put them back in the bag. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but that's what I'm doing anyway, and it's my game, so if you got a problem with it, it doesn't matter because I've already done it. Okay, oh. X. Yeah, that's so much better. And W. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm definitely gonna need a couple minutes to survey my options on this one. You know, rather than agonize over this, I'm just gonna do the most obvious thing and just spell low. And I will read a low-rated book on my TBR. Me personally, I consider something a little bit lower on the ratings if it's under a 3.5 average on Goodreads. Usually I don't even add things to my TBR if they have lower than a 3.5 average rating, but sometimes I do because I'm really interested in the concept of the book, or I add it before the rating goes down. I don't remember where I was going with this. But yeah, so I'm gonna pick a low rated book from my Goodreads TBR. It does say low and not lowest, so I am not necessarily committing to myself to whatever the lowest rated is, just one that's on the lower side. Yeah, and look at these lovely letters that I get to carry over next month. Yeah. At least there's some vowels in there. That's good. It could have been worse. Could have been worse. Now, the last word that I spelled in Scrabble this month, but not the last book I'm going to read, has to be a book with a low rating. Looking at my Goodreads TBR, there are 6 books on my TBR that have under a 3.5 average rating, so I will be reading one of those for this prompt. I was not surprised by some of the books that are under 3.5 because I have looked at the lowest rated books on my TBR before. However, I am surprised that Every Value Break by Peter Swanson currently has a 3.47 because that book came out recently and I heard good reviews for it. So I am surprised that the rating is that low. The lowest book on my Goodreads TBR is If I Disappear by Eliza Jane Brazier? I don't know if I'm saying her name right, I apologize. And I am shocked that the rating is that low. 3.17. That is really low. The last time I had checked, I think it was at a 3.2. And wow, that's a really low rating. Honestly, now I'm starting to doubt if I want to actually have this on my TBR because that's a really low rating and I have not heard many good things about this book. Now, I also do not think that book is available at my library right now, so I cannot rate it for this video. I'm not going to have it in time, and I am not going out and purchasing it. Just being honest, I'm not going to do that. So I am actually going to read the second lowest rated book on my Goodreads TBR, which is Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. Currently has a 3.3 average star rating. This is a mystery sequel to Pride and Prejudice, my absolute favorite book. And even though I have only heard middling reviews about this book, I still really want to read it just because the concept is so interesting to me, and the world of Jane Austen inspired murder mysteries is something that I really want to dive into because Jane Austen is my favorite author and I love murder mysteries. It's my 2 favorite things combined together into one. I am just obsessed with the idea. So this takes place after the events of Pride and Prejudice, and the now married Mr. and Mrs. Darcy are throwing a party at Pemberley, but things go horribly wrong when Elizabeth's sister Lydia shows up uninvited, screaming that her husband, Mr. Wickham, has just been murdered. Yeah, and so I am really excited to give this a try. I became much more excited about it than I was before when I found out that there are references to characters from Persuasion and Emma by Jane Austen in this book. That intrigues me a lot. I have heard that the Masterpiece PBS adaptation of this is actually better than the book, so maybe I will have to watch that after I read Death Comes to Pemberley. The miniseries has Matthew Rhys, I think that's his name, from The Americans as Mr. Darcy, Jenna Coleman as Lydia, and Matthew Good as Mr. Wickham. So I actually saw when I was putting Death Comes to Pemberley on hold that my library has the DVD of the miniseries, so I could check that out if I want to watch that. I haven't used my DVD player in at least 5 or 6 years, but it should still work, so maybe I will do that. Now is the part of the video where I pick my free choice book for this month's TBR, and honestly, I feel a lot of pressure. I feel like for this free choice, while I have it, I have to pick something really, really good. I have to pick something that I'm really going to love. I wish that I could have gotten my free choice in next month's TBR so I could read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, my most anticipated release. However, the book's not coming out till the 1st of June, and though I pre-ordered it, I'm not gonna have it for this month's TBR. So I had to go back to the drawing board. And I actually think what I'm leaning towards right now is, for my free choice, to pick the book that I wanted to read last month but didn't get to, The Mystery of Mrs. Christie by Marie Benedict. Now, am I going to love this book? I don't know. I could see it going either way. I could see myself loving it or it not being for me, but I still really want to read this. And like I said, I have been in a historical fiction mood, so what a great time to read historical fiction. I also have some books by Agatha Christie that I would really like to read, so maybe I could read one of those. I started reading this book right here, Cut Me Free by J.R. Johansson, a month or two ago, because this was a book that I picked out in a try a chapter tag over a year ago. Haven't read it yet. Honestly, wasn't absolutely loving it when I started it. There's a possibility that it could get better though. I think right now, for my TBR pick, I'm leaning towards The Mystery of Mrs. Christie, but I reserve the right to change my mind, because this is my YouTube channel, so if I want to change my mind, I could change my mind. But right now, this is what I'm going with. Tune into next month's TBR to see if I actually read it or not. So, this is what we have for this month. I'm trying to turn it around without knocking everything over. There we go. So, I'm starting back with 0 in the points this month because I hit 150 last month. Make sure I did my math correctly, because as we established, not very good at that. I believe I have 52 points. I believe this was 9, 17, 20, and 6, because these two both had a triple letter score, so I believe that's how it adds up. Those are the letters I'm carrying over for next month. Eowixu. Yeah, anyways. Okay, well, that's that. So, these are the books that I am going to be reading in May. I have to finish The Camelot Betrayal by Kirsten White. I will be reading Notorious Royal Marriages by Leslie Carroll, The Lost Orphan by Stacey Halls, probably The Mystery of Mrs. Christie by Marie Benedict, reserve the right to change my mind, plus my 2 library books, 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson and Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. I'm actually really happy with these TBR picks, and I think this is going to be a fun reading month. I do have more books on my TBR than usual, but I think I can do it if I really believe in myself. Maybe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a remarkable rest of your day. Bye, and I hope to see you in the next video.